Hi everyone, my name is Lupita Martinez and I was assigned the case of Sunshine Nunnery versus Scrub, Receptionist, Biz, and Awesome Toyota. Just with this title, I can tell you that Sunshine Nunnery is a bus that was rear-ended by Mr. Scrub. Mr. Scrub is an employee of Awesome Toyota. He works there as a detailer at the car wash. The receptionist violated procedural rules and gave Mr. Scrub keys to a vehicle that was company property. The two Biz brothers are also named in the suit because they're both owners of this partnership. So quickly over the details. Awesome Toyota hired Mr. Scrub to be the detailer at their car wash. On the first day of work, Billy Biz sat down with Mr. Scrub, reviewed his job duties and responsibilities he has as the detailer. He gave Mr. Scrub a copy of the employee handbook, and specifically pointed out the rule that says unauthorized use of company property, vehicles, tools, and equipment or facilities is prohibited. After that, Mr. Scrub asked the receptionist to borrow the keys to a Prius that is owned by the dealership. He said he wanted to go to his mom's house on his lunch break. On his way back from his lunch break to the dealership, Mr. Scrub rear-ends a bus. This accident caused injury. The nuns and the orphans had back pain and neck injuries, and they essentially sued all the parties involved. The two questions or legal issues here is Awesome Toyota liable for Mr. Scrub's actions? Was Mr. Scrub really an agent of Awesome Toyota? And number two is, are the Biz brothers liable for Mr. Scrub's actions? Was Mr. Scrub an agent of the brothers? These were the rules I referred to when I did my research for this case. Each of these rules provided the definitions that I needed to establish my issues. First, the analysis of the first issue. Is the partnership liable for Mr. Scrub's actions? Well, I can tell you that in Tennessee, a partnership is considered a legal entity. Okay, it is considered to be separate to its owners and can be held liable for its agent's actions. But the partnership will only be liable if those actions were conducted within the scope of the agency. I believe that since Mr. Scrub was on his lunch break, clearly was clocked out and on his own time, broke company policy, and used company property for a personal errand, the partnership should not be liable for Mr. Scrub's actions. In this case, Mr. Scrub is an employee of Awesome Toyota. The facts that establish that he was an employee of the Awesome Toyota is that he was given an employee handbook and was explained on how he was going to be manning that car wash as part of the business. So, are the Biz brothers personally liable for Mr. Scrub's actions? Well, the Biz brothers as individuals can be held liable for Mr. Scrub's actions because the partnership is considered an extension of the individual. So they can technically each be sued individually. Since both owners own 50% of the property, they can be held liable, but only if Mr. Scrub was acting as an agent at the time of the event. And since Mr. Scrub was clearly not acting for company business, the Biz brothers shouldn't be held liable. The binding cases I looked to were Domino Bank of Middle Tennessee versus Crane, which says that Tennessee courts can view the partnership as a separate legal entity. Russell versus City of Memphis, which says that the doctrine of respondent superior serves to make an employer liable for an act committed by the employee within the scope of employment, which clearly contradicts this case. And last, Johnson versus Le Bonheur Children's Medical Center. This case says that the principal's right to control the actions of the agent is the relevant factor determining the existence of an agency relationship. And the amount of control exercised by the principal also can hint at an agency relationship. So, in conclusion, to the first issue, is Awesome Toyota liable for Mr. Scrubb's actions? At the end of the day, no, they're not. Awesome Toyota is not liable for Mr. Scrubb's actions because Mr. Scrubb broke company policy and was handling personal business in a car he was not authorized to use. In conclusion to issue number 2, are the Biz Brothers individually liable for Mr. Scrubb's actions? No, the Biz Brothers business is considered a separate entity in Tennessee, but they can each be held liable. But again, in this case, Mr. Scrubb's actions happened outside of the scope of duties. So realistically, they should not be held liable of their employees' actions that happened off the clock and breaks rules that the company set up as security measures. All right, thank you so much.